Okay, I really want to get to what is happening with the Do We Know Them podcast. Now, this has been an ongoing thing for so long, and I've always really wanted to dive into it, but there's just been so much that has been going on with this story, and so I'm devoting time tonight. So if you're ready to lock in, I'm ready to lock in. The Do We Know Them podcast, obviously, Jesse and Lily. Now, they have been talking about this ongoing lawsuit that they are being sued. And I've been seeing this person, Janet's name, and I've been seeing like copyright claims and them having difficult, uploading videos. Now, I need to begin at the start. Now, episode 100 they did is called This Unhinged Lawyer is Trying to Take Down Our Channel. Sorry, it's called This Unhinged Lawyer is Trying to Take Down Our Channel. So let's watch it and go through it. I know that there are a lot of people in my audience who watch the Do We Know Them podcast. I really like both of them. I really like the podcast. So let's dive into it, shall we? Let's do it. Also, tickets to my tour are on sale right now. If you're in London or Dublin on March 9th, March 10th, and you get tickets if you send me confirmation, I will be mailing you a signed art card. And yeah, we're also coming to Dallas, LA, Seattle, Chicago, and Brooklyn. I can't wait to meet all the muckers. Who is coming? Who is coming? Let me see who is coming. And also, I'm currently doing Vlogmas on my second channel. Look, I went to the venue in London. This is where Mucker headquarters is going to be. So yeah, I'm doing Vlogmas on my second channel. Tour tickets are on sale down below. And I can't wait to meet everyone in February and March. And we're also at it. Look at the people that are coming. Chloe, I can't wait to see you. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. God, this is so daunting, isn't it? Anyways, let's get into this. All right.
So we are going to rejoice, and I have a little surprise for everyone later that we're going to play. But before we get to that, I apologize because we are going to let our rage take over for a little bit. And we're going to discuss what's currently going on surrounding the podcast because it feels like impossible to ignore, basically.
Yeah, this is a situation that...
Also, it truly gags me that they don't film together. It took me... You've no idea... Oh my god, everyone's coming! Yee. I'm excited to meet everyone. Oh my god. Shout out to the Chicago crew. Y'all sold that show out. LA's so close to it. Yeah, I just can't believe they don't film in the same room. It took me way too long to figure that out.
We've contemplated like whether it would even
do it so well.
Get on here and talk about it because we don't want to make like our problem everyone else's problem. Like I know a lot of people come to the podcast for a fun time and all of that stuff, but I have to say this is bigger than even our channel. Like this kind of abuse of copyright systems on this platform is a danger to all creators on this platform. And so we're going to talk about what we're going through right now and then also talk about maybe ways that you guys can help us out in getting, the attention of YouTube or other creators who will be willing to talk about this because this shit may fly on TikTok and Instagram, but we had faith that YouTube was better than this and I don't know, girl.
If you've missed it, we've covered in 2 episodes now the saga, you might say, relating to a woman named Jeanette Braun.
Oh wait, hold on, before you even say any of that, before you even speak anything else into existence, everything we are saying in this video is our opinion. It is all alleged. It is all for the purpose of social commentary. We are not directing anyone to go and send hate to anybody we talk about in this video.
They got that down.
That is our opinion.
For the purposes of this video,
I love it. This is my opinion.
She is not our favorite person. We are going to refer to her as Janet, like we already have been for the last 2 episodes. But we want to make it clear her name is Jeanette Braun for Braun IP Law.
And she is a lawyer that is licensed in the state of Illinois and Texas. So she is an actual IP lawyer. And we discussed her on this channel for a very specific reason. And that reason was because we believed she was abusing copyright systems on TikTok and Instagram and also simultaneously harassing smaller creators, in our opinion, with legalese and cease and desist and things meant to scare them into not speaking about her or her clients. Okay, that is her main shtick. If you say something bad about
fuck lawyers like that, by the way.
You accompany that commentary with any screenshot of anything that has her or her clients in it, even though that's fair use and completely allowed by the law, she will take that down. She will abuse these systems in place to silence you. Okay, in our opinion.
Which is why you might notice that
so many in our opinion
screenshots because Janet is a fucking snake.
We are 2 strikes in right now. We have been struck twice by Janet.
3 times technically, but only 2 were successful.
Exactly. Yeah. So the first one.
Damn. And again, if you don't understand the significance of that, if you get 3 strikes, you're out. I mean, your channel is out. You're out.
That we got a strike on was the first video we talked about her in. And she struck us for a 1-minute TikTok. And in the TikTok, she is literally reading the terms and services of TikTok on her TikTok. So it was a TikTok of hers.
Yeah, she's not in the video. I would like to clarify.
It's her voice.
It is a screen recording of the TikTok terms and services with her voice on top. Do you want to know, though, what she considers that TikTok to be?
Art.
Let me read word for word. We won't be showing a screenshot because God forbid we infringe on her fucking art copyright. But, you know, we can read it. Someone commented and said, leave the DWKT podcast alone, you fraudulent, all for nothing lawyer. And someone said, wait, what's happening with the podcast? The person said, she sent them a copyright strike. She's so annoying. And Braun Law responds and says, they stole my art. I have the right to take it back, and I did. My copyright is registered, and the thieving is ripe for a legal proceeding. You are insufferable, Janet.
I want to make something super clear. Janet is not being sincere. She knows she's not being sincere. Allegedly, this is my opinion. I feel like she is literally being purposefully obtuse to be annoying and to literally abuse copyright systems to hurt us because she just doesn't want people to be able to talk about her. So if you actually look at that TikTok, the full minute that she flagged wasn't even just the TikTok. She also flagged our commentary on the TikTok. I want to explain this really quick because we need to let you know how intense it is what Janet has done to our channel and what, in our opinion, is an absolute abuse of the system. I want to make something clear. We know that our content will be reinstated. We have faith that that is the truth. We know that YouTube understands that this is fair use. And if any person looks at this, they understand that it's fair use. However, this needs to be fixed moving forward. These systems in place that are automated and allow people like Jeanette to just swoop in from literally nowhere and strike a channel, it is so concerning for all creators. So there's a difference here, right? You have two options if you believe someone's infringing on your copyrighted content. You can claim them, okay? That's what we've gotten before, like especially if it'll be like...
Or you can like share the profits of the video or something like that.
That whoever owns that music or that piece of content will claim that piece and you will have to share all the profits that you made with them moving forward.
Yeah, basically your revenue gets redistributed. So it's like you don't make any money off that video because their content is in it. And now they are receiving all of the revenue that you may have made.
The good thing about that system though is that you have multiple options when you are claimed. You can appeal it. And while it's in the appeal process, all of the money will go into an escrow account. And then whoever wins that appeal, it'll go to them. So it makes it a little bit more comfortable as a creator to appeal something because you don't have to like have your content down while it's being appealed or like they're getting paid while it's being appealed. It all goes into an escrow account. Or you can literally use YouTube to trim out the portion of copyrighted content. So you have options.
They give you the option to just take out that content, so then there is no longer anything to claim. Then, on the contrary, there's what Janet did. And that is, she issued a copyright takedown strike, which removes the video immediately from YouTube, which she also, for the record, did have two options there. You can also submit a copyright takedown strike that gives us the option to take it down. Like there's a period of time where it's like, hey, we're striking this, take it down, or we're going to like escalate this further. But Janet went straight to just taking the content down. Not that we would have removed it anyway, to be honest, but didn't even want to give that option. So she just took it down. I want to clarify also that, again, like Jesse said, we know that the content will be reinstated and we know that we were well within our rights and it was protected under the fair use doctrine. I've spent an absurd amount of time researching that. And also, there is precedent. It's without a doubt.
I mean, this fair use thing really is very scary because, I mean, if this starts being applied, like if everyone started acting the way this Janet person acted, then this would not exist. Many of your favorite creators who would even, you know, have a poster in the back. Like, look, Chapel Roan strikes me down. Stray Kids strike me down. Wombin strikes me down. Adam McIntyre strikes me down. You know what I mean? It's so easy to abuse this system. And when people abuse it and they're not called out for it, it allows this behavior to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And now, this is really interesting that this Janet person, I'm so excited I'm finally diving into the lore. I've heard so much about this. Could have just taken the money. But this is an intimidation tactic of abusing the system to have things just immediately deleted. This is not about money. You know what I mean? This is genuinely about power. And the fact that people are able to abuse said system is very, very, very scary and alarming. And it needs to be called out. So shout out to Jesse and Lily for being incredibly fucking brave to talk about this. Because Janet will be able to shut this shit down. Because they keep talking about it. So, shout out to both of them.
Not mind that it falls under fair use.
Now, I do want to specify and make this extremely clear that copyright strikes, not claims, are meant for the most egregious infringements on copyrighted content.
Like someone, I was about to say like someone re-uploading your entire song and trying to take the profits from it. Or, I mean, I've had channels that I get a notification from YouTube being like, hey, we have seen this video that features a lot of your video. Would you want to take it down? And I'll always just say no. But there's been times where people will literally, I remember someone had re-uploaded my videos, the entire thing, not adding anything to it. And they were getting thousands of views and making money on it. That was something that obviously is someone, you know, ripping off your content and blah, blah, blah. But if I show a 10-second TikTok and you're trying to shut all my shit down, that's an abuse of the power.
that are protected by God knows how many licenses, and someone just re-uploads that. That's why you can't go on YouTube and watch a full movie.
In our opinion, there's no way that Janet is actually upset about the use of her stupid TikTok. Like, that is not something that is affecting her at a personal level. But do you know what is? Us commentating on her bad practices as a lawyer and how she represents these clients that brag about her practices and brag about how she's able to get content that presents them in a negative light. She's able to get it taken down. They have people for that. There's multiple creators that she represents that brags about this. You guys, that is so fucked and irresponsible and just wrong and an abuse of power.
And for us to come on this platform to whistleblow it and her abuse this system to silence us in talking about her
Just proves the point.
insane. Like when we got the strike, I was like, oh, she claimed us. And I went and I said, no, it's unavailable. Nobody can watch this. And if you try to click on a link of it, like an unlisted link, it says it's property of Braun IP law. Like, this is fucking nuts. This is a danger, not only to our channel, it's obviously a danger to our channel. And we did have faith that YouTube was a little bit more sophisticated than this. We know that H3 versus Matt Haas was a huge precedence that was set. We know what we can and can't do on this channel. If people are allowed, okay, to abuse systems like Janet is doing, channels like H3, channels like any of your favorite commentary channels, I mean, who is to say someone says something not so nice about you and uses a screenshot of you, even if it's a picture or something that you just said, and automatically they can take down your channel? Do you understand how terrifying that is?
For reference, she like includes in that bucket of like, you're using my client's content, she's referring to literally like screenshots of their public profiles. That is absurd.
And what's even crazier, and another way that YouTube completely failed, in my opinion, is once she issued the first strike, we were obviously upset and we were like, oh, she's gonna come for the next one, watch. We knew that was gonna come. Well, we got an email from YouTube that she did try to do that, but Janet made a little whoopsie, and in her timestamps that she was submitting, because you have to submit the portion of the video that's your copyrighted content, she meant to put in just like a 2-minute timestamp, I think, that was covering yet another one of her TikToks, but instead she accidentally made it like over an hour long.
We don't know for sure if that is the reason that it was like there was pushback and she wasn't able to issue the strike on this, but it makes sense because the TikTok maybe was, we definitely didn't even include 2 minutes, but the whole TikTok is no longer than 2 minutes probably, and yet she claims that it took up over an hour of our content. That seems like it would be cause for.
But also, not only does this just affect the content at hand in which is being striked, but when your channel gets these strikes, you know, your channel can be taken down. But furthermore, what people don't understand from like a YouTuber perspective is if you get these strikes, every time you try to upload another video, it'll go through an even more intense approval rate by YouTube, you know, because they now know that, oh, well, you are someone who is, you know, abusing copyright. And so we've got to make sure to approve your video delicately. Whereas if I upload a video, you know, it can go up within an hour. But I always see it with Jesse and Lily where their videos are constantly denied being uploaded of monetization or copyright or whatever, because it puts your channel in such bad standing when, you know, these automated systems are being abused. Yeah, tomatoes in the chat, please, for Janet.
That wasn't the case. It was fair use. We weren't just stealing her content and like putting it up to make money off of it. It was because it was giving context to the larger conversation, which ironically is about her abusing this entire system.
And I mean, we're talking like TikToks on the screen as we're not only talking during it, but before and after about that TikTok. This is not even the non-screen insert where it's like not us on the camera, which even that is fair use because we're talking before and after about it. We're still transforming the content, but this is so fair use. Like, it's on the screen as we're talking.
We should even, in a minute, I'll pull up, there's 4 different criteria for determining fair use, which technically can only be determined by a court. But then I find it ironic that Janet seems to think that she's able to determine it because she just dismisses it as always being not true. But let me pull up this email because YouTube doesn't even claim for sure, like they also would agree that the court has to decide if it's fair use, but they can say that they believe it to be fair use. So we receive an email that says, hello, we received the copyright infringement notification below regarding your video. We believe your content is protected by fair use, fair dealing, or a similar exception to copyright protection. We are writing to you to let you know we do not plan to remove your video at this time. Please be advised, it is possible the copyright owner will approach you directly to request removal or take other action. To which we say, please, Janet, do you really want to go to court over your fucking TikTok that definitely is going to fall under fair use? I know you claim that you're a lawyer and you know everything and we are stupid and we don't know anything, but like, you know that that is not something you're going to win in court.
I think she either underestimates our pettiness. There's no way we're sitting back and allowing this to happen. I mean, even if she were to take down our channel, like we will absolutely, if necessary, do anything we can to set a precedence that people like this, you're not fucking allowed to do this. But what's fucking crazy is she was allowed to do this because after this was established by YouTube that it was fair use, she was allowed allowed to go back in the next night and copyright strike us for the same video. Only this time, YouTube said if we wanted to know what content was even copyrighted, we would have to email them.
Yeah, you know what? This is a screenshot that I know that we can use because it is not hers at all. I'm gonna put it on screen right now. This is what it looks like when we look at the copyright strike. Like when we click more information, it tells us the date the strike happened, and it says content removed by Braun IP Law, LLC, and then it shows content used. That is normally where the time code of the content that she is claiming was infringed upon, that's where that goes. But there's nothing there. It just says info available on request. When you click the little question mark next to that, it says, for more information about this removal request, P.S. Is it a request? Because they took it down. They
Right,
didn't request
not a
anything.
request.
But then they said, email copyright@youtube.com. So Jesse did.
I sent them a link to the video. I said, hey, we're inquiring about this video. We were told to email this address, yada, yada, yada. And then I let them know a little tidbit about good old Jeanette Braun and how she allegedly is a notorious abuser of copyright systems in order to silence people who are critics of her or her clients. But thank God YouTube is so efficient in their responses because they got back to me immediately.
They respond with an automated response. Not a person. So this email address that they told us to reach out to for more info, this is the more info that we received back. Hello. Thanks for contacting the YouTube copyright compliance team. If you believe your copyrighted content is being used without authorization, you may submit a copyright takedown notice through our web form. Well, no, that's not.
So frustrating as well that someone can abuse it, but then you have to fucking wait. Yeah, who are her clients? Who are her clients? Can someone let me know?
What we want to do. That's what Janet did. And the fact that you just had this form that literally anyone could fill out, how is that your system? Like, that makes zero sense to me. So, YouTube, where's the information about this copyright takedown that you just removed our video and gave us a second strike?
This is honestly one of my biggest issues with YouTube is that they rely.
One of them is Lauren the Mortician, controversial TikTokers, Bunny XO question mark.
As a company that is as profitable as YouTube is, they are a multi-billion-dollar
Bunny XO, Jelly Roll's wife, and Lauren the Mortician.
company, a network of people, and they rely on automated systems for almost everything. This is something that huge creators have complained about forever, okay? We don't have a YouTube person. We applied for one and we don't fucking have one. Friends of ours that do have one say they're useless. Like, literally, to contact an actual person at YouTube, not a robot, I mean, it's literally almost next to impossible.
It's a common misconception, I think, that people have, like, oh, your partner manager. I hear whispers of this, but as someone that we
Runkle of the Bailey. I love Runkle of the Bailey.
both have personal channels. Mine has almost 500,000 subscribers. Yours had over 1 million at one point. This channel is about to hit 100,000. We don't have partner managers. I've never had a personal contact at YouTube that wasn't someone I just knew from being friends with them. But also, I would like to remind many of you, you might be familiar, of a situation that I can't help but be reminded of when Megan Rinks, one of our good friends, she had her vlog channel.
Oh my god, wait, I remember something to do with Megan Rinks. Her channel, like, oh my god, what was it? I'm gonna find out now, but I'm trying to remember. Was it that someone, like, stole her channel and started uploading it or on something? Or I'm sure I'm gonna find out now, but I'm like, oh my god, what is it?
Blatantly, like, without even a sliver of doubt, her channel was hacked.
My vlog channel had mysteriously transformed into Beauty Dior, whose owners had bought my channel off of a hacker
This story was insane.
$500 and have been uploading copyrighted content ever since.
It was not only hacked, it was they deleted all the content. They rebranded it.
I want to make a video on that. I know it's a while ago, but fuck me.
Random, like, compilations of beauty content. And literally, Megan couldn't get into it for months. She hadn't told me up front when this was happening because she was behind the scenes attempting to have some kind of a dialogue with YouTube to figure out how to get it back. Oh my god, you guys. I will put the links in the description to the 3-part, I think, series that I helped her make, because when she finally did tell me and showed me some of the emails that she was dealing with, I literally rage filled my body, and I was like, are you joking? They literally tried to gaslight her and tell her that no one hacked her channel, and at one point even said the phrase, we looked into like the possibility of hacking on your channel, and we did not found any. So basically, she dealt with like weeks of correspondence with different people at YouTube. They weren't even like in a position that they
So fucking ridiculous.
basically to like subdue her and like keep her at bay and make her think that they were looking
That's
into it
YouTube's
when they
MO.
very clearly
We've had like
weren't.
countless issues with them or like inquiries, and they will give, especially Lily on Twitter. I tell her even, I'm like, why do you even bother with them? Because it's so unlikely to actually get help from like YouTube help on Twitter or something like that.
So I need to channel my rage somewhere.
I feel like people don't understand, and it may come off as whining, and I really want to be like clear. Imagine you work somewhere, you dedicate all your time to that job, and your quote unquote boss is like impossible to reach. Like, you cannot even reach someone who knows the boss. Anytime that you try to inquire about something that you believe is unfair to your work or the things that you've spent all your fucking time on, literally it's like, hello, there's nothing wrong. Hope that helps. Bye. Like, it is really, really a problem. And I don't think that unless you're like a creator on this platform, you would necessarily get it. So I get why other people might be like, okay, well, whatever, just like do what you need to do. Like, who cares? But this is bad, guys. Like, literally our channel right now is one takedown one takedown from being terminated.
Back to Megan's thing for a second. Do you want to know what it finally took to get them to actually take it seriously and actually address her and like have her talk to real people?
At this point, I literally had no idea what else to do. I was pretty much like, okay, cool, yeah, my vlog channel doesn't exist anymore. It's Beauty Dior. Let me tweet out about this, see if anything can happen from this. And honestly, after all this time, it kind of just felt like YouTube was gaslighting me, and I was like, yeah, you're right. Maybe nothing is wrong.
We're definitely going to do a deep dive into this, by the way, because I remember this in the moment. So take note of this, because we're going to be deep diving into that.
I know something's wrong because that's not my channel. So I then tweeted out a beautifully composed juxtaposition of the email where it says nothing is wrong with my channel, and then a screenshot of my channel where clearly everything is wrong. So to keep the timeline straight, I had sent that email and posted the tweet right around 9 a.m. It was now 2 p.m. and the tweet has got thousands of responses, all of which were tagging various YouTube Twitter handles. Still no response. I missed that day. Until 2:02 p.m. rolls around and I get a notification that Shane Dawson has liked my tweet and quote tweeted my tweet, reading, "Hey at YouTube, at YT Creators, at Team YouTube, this is really scary. Help?" And then a weird coincidence happens. As soon as Shane tweets that, it blows up. Reminder, my tweet went out at 9 a.m. along with my email that went out at 9 a.m. Shane's tweet was at 2:02, and then at 2:48, I get my first message from YouTube. Not at all a coincidence. Wow. Here's the thing, I've been on YouTube for years. I'm bashing this.
I mean, shout out Shane at least.
Not working. Not any individual person, mostly because I'm pretty sure the people that I'm annoyed with aren't even people. It is literally the fact that this is a failed system and it's not working. I also get a DM from Gigi Hadid, which might seem so incredibly random. Honestly, it's really a full circle moment because she watched my vlog channel and was a fan of my nose job vlogs, and that's why she follows me on Twitter, was because she found me from there. And she was nice enough to give me her direct contact at YouTube, who again, this is so below his pay grade, but this is the only time that I'm getting help is when Shane Dawson and Gigi Hadid helped me. Thank you so much, guys.
It took, and this was pre-cancellation, Shane Dawson giving
Not pre-cancellation.
a contact to use to then talk to someone, as well as Gigi fucking Hadid bringing it up with her personal YouTube contact.
Gigi, where are you now? We need you.
Right? As well as me and Megan making this series where we expose how absurd their system for
And it going
dealing with hacking
viral.
was, and it going viral and getting millions and millions of views. That is what it took for them to even remotely address it. And the fact that someone like Janet, who doesn't even have a YouTube channel to maybe Braun Law IP does. God, don't look at it. It's gonna be boring. The fact that she is given so much power that all she has to do is submit a form, and they then just are like, okay, sure. And then they have the nerve to come back and tell us that if we have a problem with it, we have to retain counsel. That is actually the most fucked up process. Like, are you kidding?
And what's even more annoying is that when you believe that that was wrongfully done, so we believed it was wrongfully done, what we did is submit that counter notification. YouTube has to decide whether that's valid. They read that, they're like, okay, that makes sense. So what we're gonna do.
But not only that, it takes so much time for YouTube to be like responding to these things as well, because again, they have so many workers, but most of it is fucking automated.
Send it to the person who claimed it in the first place. So they did that with the first video. They saw our counter. They said, okay, cool. We're sending that to Jeanette Braun. Jeanette Braun has 10 days from the day that was sent to her to provide a court order. Okay. That is the only thing she could provide because that is the level of copyright infringement we're talking about, right? Like you are being so infringed upon that you must be taking them to court. But the worst part of all of this is that she gets those 10 days. Okay. Which we believe allegedly that she is going to use those 10 days to, I don't know, itch her ass, pick her boogers. I don't know what she's doing, but she's buying fucking time to annoy us and have the content down for longer so that less people.
Again, less people see the content, and whenever it eventually goes up, maybe the news stories are outdated, or maybe people aren't notified anymore because it's a video from fucking 10 days ago. It's bullshit. Wow. Huge shout out to these women. This is really important for them to be talking about.
See it? Even though at this point, it's like you're bringing more attention to it because when they go back up, because they will go back up, literally people are going to be like, let me go see what they said because that's crazy.
I've seen a lot of people bring up the Streisand effect. You try and suppress something, it's just gonna make it worse. Yeah. And that is exactly what she's doing in all of her situations. Like, I mean, Laura the Mortician fucked over herself, in my opinion, but Jeanette, you couldn't have helped that girl less. Literally, you have made this 10 times worse for her.
And that's always the way, isn't it? Them making it so much worse.
Embarrassing.
Hi, you know, if we're coming in here dressed differently, that means it's a different day and we have an update. And boy, do we have an update for you.
And it's not a good update. You might think it would be a good update by now, but no, it's not a good update. I was sitting there working on something we're going to show you in a minute because this entire episode is not a rant, don't worry. Just most of it. And I'm sitting there about to get to work, and all of a sudden, I get a notification on my phone. It's an email from YouTube because, as we already have explained, we didn't get provided any of the information for the second strike that we received. There was no like, oh, this is the clip you're using. Oh, this is how long you used it for. No, it said contact us for more info. And we had only gotten an automated response thus far. This is another automated response that we got. But they did provide the supposed info of this request that was sent through. I opened this email and it looks very familiar because this is the exact same identical request that Janet had sent through one day earlier. And it was the same request that YouTube had been like, you know what? we don't agree. This is fair use. And we were like, fuck yeah, awesome. Thank you, automated system YouTube. No, the second time they were like, you're right, Janet, strike.
And when we're talking about an identical request, the exact timestamp that she provided was 22 minutes and 40 seconds to an hour, 24 minutes and 8 seconds.
The entire video that we pulled from, which we did only pull 20 seconds from, but even if we used her entire TikTok,
Which we didn't.
we didn't. We used 20 seconds of it because we obviously couldn't bear to listen to the entire thing. The entire thing, the whole runtime was 8 minutes and 43 seconds, I believe. So please, YouTube, explain to me how her time code for how long we used it is an hour and 2 minutes.
That's almost the entire episode.
Did we just replay it over and over again? Do you really think anyone would have watched that? Oh my God.
If you don't understand what Lily means, she literally has to paste a link where YouTube asks, it appears in your source video, and then it has like a blank space for you to put a link. So Jeanette puts a link to her TikTok, and that's
Really fucking scary that this can be so easily
really
abused.
saying is 8 minutes, a little bit over 8 minutes long. But what she flagged was over an hour long.
So she's saying that we used her video in our video, that we had it playing for over an hour.
But I don't think that's what happened. What I think happened is what I originally thought, which is that she had a typo, okay? Because what I think she meant to do was put 22 minutes to 24 minutes.
But that's even wrong. It's only to 23 minutes.
Well, her original one was wrong too. She also tagged our commentary in it, even though she put like a minute long. It was still including our commentary and not her TikTok in it. Let's not pretend that the whole thing is not wrong. Like her whole entire thing is false.
I'm just saying, I'm not even gonna remotely try and give her the benefit of the doubt that like she had a one key misstep. It's blatantly wrong. Like there's multiple numbers that are off.
Well, the reason why I even think that is because when we got the information here, it is identical to the first claim she tried to make on this video, not the first claim.
So literally just like copying and pasting shit and being so lazy with it as well. And it's crazy that this even has to be a fucking conversation of who's in the right.
She ever made. The first claim she ever tried to make on the second video. I know this is confusing, just stay with us. It's important.
This is on episode 97, and the first claim is on episode 96.
Yes. So how are you going to tag over an hour of content on the exact, down to the second? I don't think she submitted two claims. What I think happened, obviously, this is just my opinion, is I think she submitted the original one. I personally believe she had that typo in it, that she didn't mean to put it to an hour. I think she got confused, but maybe she didn't. That didn't go through. YouTube, like we said, we read the email. They said, we believe this is fair use. We said, fuck yeah, thank God. Then, for some reason, we believe that YouTube let this through anyway. Even though they deemed it as fair use, I think they still allowed this exact same claim, I don't think she made multiple, to go through and strike our channel and take this video down.
Although I do have one other theory that maybe, because also, on top of all of this, then Jessie, upon receiving the actual strike that did go through, she submitted a counter notification, which then gets delivered to YouTube, and then they approve it or reject it. And then if they approve it, it goes on to Janet, and she has 10 days to either provide them with a court order that she's bringing.
It really bothers me that she is so long on it as well. More tomatoes, please. Yeah, you're right. Give us more tomatoes for Janet. Fucking hell.
In her house waiting for it to be over just to waste time. That's literally what she's doing.
Yeah, so she'll probably wait till the end of the 10 days. And at that point, the strike will expire and the video goes back up and it's fine. Jessie submits this counter notification where it asks for like a little paragraph where you explain why you think this is an incorrect strike.
I put almost the exact same thing as I did the first time when it did get approved and sent to Jeanette. I just added a little extra tidbit about how she's like, hello guys, she's doing it. Like, you're letting her do this. What's going on? Imagine my surprise when I wake up for my nightly 4 a.m. wake hour. I don't know why I do that every night. And I check my email and I see that our claim got denied, our counterclaim. It was denied.
Oh, fuck.
This is the wording that it uses, which is literally the biggest just like slap in the fucking
Again, it's just like if you keep pushing the automated system on it, then they'll allow it.
face
Yeah,
when
beyond.
the time code's wrong, the owner is wrong. Like everything about this request that Janet has submitted is incorrect. She signed it knowing that it was under penalty of perjury, and she still signed it as a lawyer. Like, are you fucking kidding? You can't even check the time code, Janet. The language in this YouTube email where they're rejecting the counter notification says, "Thank you for your counter notification. Unfortunately, it's unclear to us whether you have a valid reason for filing a counter notification, so we won't be able to honor your request."
When I say that, Lily and I just spiraled.
I don't have a ton of faith in automated systems, especially on YouTube these days, but
This is unacceptable.
The fact that a robot couldn't even pick up on that, like, oh my God, I just don't understand. I stared at it and it was like, where did you get that email? Because Jessie also had put in her personal email address for the response to come to, so I didn't see it. And I'm like, where did you get that? Where did that come from?
I know we're laughing and it's because we laugh at pretty much everything in life, but honestly, that was such a helpless feeling. Like seeing that, I was just like, well, we don't fucking have anyone to talk to. We are not people with connections. We're just creators that literally dedicate our life to creating on this app or website or whatever the fuck YouTube is. It's out of control and it feels like shit when your own network or whatever the fuck YouTube is to us is failing you this badly.
And just totally honoring the stuff that comes from a random person that has absolutely no
History on YouTube, period.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know the word, like stake in this platform. Like she literally just like comes in to complain.
It's like when you don't have credit and like people are tentative to sell you something like a car or a house or something because they're like, well, I want to know a little bit more about you. No, YouTube's just like, well, come on down and take down a channel. Are you free? On Tuesday, it only takes 10 minutes. Well,
Again, it's like this not wanting to. It's like these automated systems just want the easiest option. But if we start applying that to every situation, then there's going to be no YouTube. Everything and anything can be abused. And it's so important that they're talking about this. Like, what the fuck?
Well, something insane that was an update to even that update is I was just looking through my email to read it on camera, and I see that at 6 a.m, I got an email. Lily did proceed because it did give us one option, and that was to redo a counterclaim, like to counterclaim again. And Lily did do that, but this is not even in regards to what Lily sent. This is my original counterclaim because I could see it right here, what I wrote, and it's the one they said was not a valid reason. Here's what they had to say now. Dear Do We Know Them? Please disregard our initial decision for this counter notification. Thank you for your counter notification. It has now been forwarded to the claimant that submitted the copyright removal request. And then it goes on to say what we already know. Now she has 10 days from when this was sent. 10 business days, by the way. Not 10 regular days, of course, because, you know, Janet's really busy on the weekends.
Okay, so here's the thing. I noticed you can open the claim and stuff and you can look at info on the computer and that's where it'll give you the majority of it. But for some reason, there's one additional piece of information that we can only see on our phones in the Studio app. And that piece of information
Is who the content owner is.
Yeah, it says content owner. So not who submitted the claim, but who's claiming owns this piece of content, aka these TikToks, which are clearly Janet's. So,
And she has said herself, this is her art. So
yes, exactly.
Art is crazy. Art's crazy.
See that the content owner for not one of these strikes, but both of them, is Caitlin Demps. Who's Caitlin Demps, might you ask? I mean, honestly, a few days ago, we would have
didn't know either.
Apparently, first of all, that person's name, that's not a real person. Her real full name is Caitlin Dempsey. Demps is her nickname that she goes by. And that is one of
Of course, going by a little nickname.
Janet's clients. We mentioned briefly by name. We verbally mentioned Demps, and we discussed because someone had sent us an email about her. But then honestly, we got distracted because there was so much other stuff going on that we didn't even really dive into that aspect of the conversation. So we literally said the word Demps maybe 3 times in, it's like 30 seconds. Without a shadow of doubt, we do not show any of this person's content. Already, that's absurd to think that that would even have a connection as to why she would be the content owner of this, because we didn't feature any of it. But even more absurd is that it lists her as the content owner for the first one in an episode where at the time we had never even heard of this person.
we didn't mention her in the first one. We only mentioned her in the second one. My question is this something that Jeanette purposefully typed in? Is this something, Caitlin Dempsey, that you are aware your lawyer is doing? She is striking down YouTubers' channels, in our opinion, incorrectly and illegally.
And
I don't know
on
at this
behalf
point.
of you?
On behalf of you.
I am leaning more towards the theory that a few people have brought up that maybe it like autofills, or like that Demps was the last person she was claiming content for, and then she like forgot to change the name, which like, again.
Which again is like, why are you doing these like submissions so often that you're not looking that deeply into whose name's attached to it and stuff?
Penalty of perjury, and you are a fucking lawyer, and you couldn't just there's like 3 things to fill in. You couldn't double check it, Janet?
It's such a short list. It's so quick. That's the problem too, is it's so quick to fill out and submit. We have a lot to say even after this, but that's where we get to anyway, where it's just like, okay, will this get fixed? Sure. But this cannot be allowed to happen in the first place. These systems are so unsophisticated and put creators in so much danger of losing their entire platforms without having a single chance to defend themselves and prove that they did not steal content. I mean, it's absolutely fucking absurd that someone like Janet is allowed to do this, and allowed to do so incorrectly by putting false content owners, by putting incorrect timestamps. Everything is all over the place, and the system just was like, yeah, take them down. As if we haven't spent the last year of our fucking lives building everything on this platform. It's so frustrating.
So little time. Like, have a fucking...
And it's just really frustrating that the loyalty is with Janet.
content show for
And
an
we have
hour.
full conversations with AI now. I mean, what is happening?
Right? And
How
like,
is
why
this?
is the automated system so stupid? Like, it's so blatantly
I thought AI was supposed to be clever.
go through.
Anyway, that's our update. We will continue on rambling for a bit more, but we do have a point and we do have a call to action, so please stay with us.
And there's a little surprise that I made.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go to the YouTube website, it says fair use on YouTube. Fair use is a legal doctrine that says the use of copyrighted protected material under certain circumstances is allowed without permission from the copyright holder, which is absolutely what we did. It goes on to say, when you scroll down, that there are 4 factors of fair use. In the United States, judges decide what's considered fair use. So yes, it is left up to the court. So it is our interpretation that we are basing this off of, but there is precedence, and we are confident that if we brought this to court, it would be laughable because of what she's trying to argue. But it says a judge will consider how...
Imagine spending years in law school only to use your degree to be a spot high school mean girl. Not mean girl. Mean kid?
whether such use is of commercial nature or is for nonprofit educational purposes. Courts typically focus on whether the use of copyright protected material is transformative. This means whether the use adds new expression or meaning to the original material, or whether it merely copies from the original. Commercial uses are less likely to be considered fair use, but it's still possible to monetize a video that contains fair use material. So I even want to put a note on that because I've read that specifically the fair use doctrine has altered their language in recent years, because it used to kind of insinuate that if you were making money off of the content, then fair use doesn't apply. But that is absolutely not the case. And they have specifically changed the language in the fair use doctrine because there's so many different commercial enterprises that rely on fair use, such as the news, any commentary channel, reviews, like anything that is talking about a piece of work and not just copying it. They're furthering the conversation. They're having a discussion about it, which is what we are doing. That is allowed under fair use. And it might be commercial, but that doesn't matter. And it says in the fair use doctrine that being commercial does not play a factor at the end of the day when determining whether it's fair use or not. So the fact that we are making money off of our video doesn't matter.
But Janet still quotes the old verbiage of it. So she makes it seem like if you're making money off of it, then I have every right to take it down.
Well, because she acts like we are making money because of her content. Like, no one was watching the content for your TikTok, Janet. No one was watching your TikTok either before we started talking about it. So we actually probably...
Also, it's just really crazy that, like, again, we have, like, one of these, like, big lawyers being so outwardly stupid in abusing systems. Like, do you not think you're gonna get called out and everyone's not gonna see you for what you are? Like, how stupid are you? Truly, how stupid are you? Messing with someone's life for shits and gigs is insane. Throwing books at her, so maybe she'll realize what she's doing is wrong. They gave Janet money and attention, if anything. It's a money game at this point. That's Janet's plan, in my opinion. Drag it out and wring them dry. Fuck her.
really helped.
What we're kind of like pushing for here is for a better system. This system does not work. This system puts all creators on this platform that provide any sort of commentary on anything at risk.
Or just talk about things.
Better than this, because even their copyright claim system is better than this. Like, you have to give creators a chance to rectify, argue their point. Something needs to be done.
Even objectively, the percentage that her content made up our full episode,
0.001%. And if you look at the Ethan Klein, Matt Haas case, they actually were having to argue it quite severely because they would cut to like a minute long clip of Matt Haas and then they would come on screen and talk about it.
I looked at those court documents and I'm pretty sure that it was a 15-minute video and they used over 4 minutes of it. Ours, it was a minute, and the episode, I believe, was an hour and 24 minutes. So quickly, just to go through the other 3 parts of the fair use thing, says, number 2, the nature of the copyrighted work, using material from purely fictional works. Well, I can assure you that her TikTok was not a fictional work of art, despite what she says.
Baby, it was art. It was an artful piece, a tasteful piece, if you will. Oh, Janet.
The whole copyrighted work. Borrowing small bits of material from an original work is more likely to be considered fair use than borrowing large portions. Then number 4 is the effect of the use upon potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. I don't know if Janet is monetized on TikTok, but like I said earlier, if anything, we probably made her money by people going to look at her TikTok page.
Brought attention to her.
Is seeking out our content in lieu of watching hers. Yeah, so it basically says that uses that harm the copyright holder's ability to profit from their original work are less likely to be fair use. I can say with certainty that our use of her TikTok did not affect Janet financially at all.
It honestly feels so discouraging. Like, if I had to describe how I feel right now, it's highly discouraged. Like, I just feel so upset,
Helpless,
disappointed, helpless. Yeah. Like, this is something that Janet knows, allegedly. I feel like she knows this.
I don't think she's a good lawyer, but she is a lawyer. She can't be this dense.
Just to highlight how helpless and kind of, it just feels like counterproductive to even try to find help with YouTube. Lily had a very nice Twitter exchange today, and I'm gonna read through it because, wow, this is just fucking bullshit. But Lily tweeted, "Can someone at YouTube creators, at Team YouTube, at YouTube Liaison, please explain how it's possible for us to receive a copyright strike that gives no info other than the lawyer who made the claim and the content owner, quote unquote, aka a client of the lawyers who we use literally zero content from. And to find out more, I suggest emailing the email address for the copyright division of YouTube, which is
So exhausting for them.
for additional information, because it is absolutely mind-blowing to witness this level of abuse of the copyright system being allowed." She included the screenshot that we read to you. It was like the automated message. Then Lily says, "I haven't been this heated over YouTube incompetence since Megan Ranks and I had to make a multi-part series just to get them to address /help retrieve her hacked channel. And trust me, I will do it again." Is that a threat, Lily?
Might be.
And then Team YouTube just swoops on in and they just get straight to work. They say, "When someone files a copyright takedown, we take steps that comply with the law. If you have questions about its validity, we encourage discussing with your own counsel." We also have more choices, so don't worry.
Again, so just putting them in a position where they're like, you have a problem with it? Okay, go on and sue. You have a problem with it? Okay, this is beyond YouTube. Even though this is affecting your YouTube and this is affecting your livelihood, you've got to sort this outside of YouTube. Even though this started on YouTube, but no, we put our hands up. We put our hands up. We take steps. You mean AI?
We can also wait for it to expire.
Something that is just so frustrating with the takeover of AI as well. Not only are so many people losing their jobs, but it just causes so many things like this. You know what I mean?
Get a retraction or submit a counter notification. More info, and then they leave a link. Get counsel.
The idea that they are suggesting that we have to pay and retain counsel fight a blatant misuse.
But again, this isn't even something that needs that deeply looking into. It's very easy to see that this is an abuse of the system. Maybe a fucking human would have verified that quicker, but no, everything's fucking auto-generated.
It's not even just a misuse. It's literally what YouTube is allowing this to be used for. They claim that if someone abuses the system, so like that's what we're told on our end, if they abuse the system, then they'll get flagged eventually, basically. But that didn't happen. Jeanette was allowed, even after you guys deemed that it was fair use, to go back in and strike us again. Like, she is using this exactly as you guys intended, which is the fucking problem. That's why we're here talking like, this system doesn't work. Because if I don't like Ethan Klein or another commentary channel and they use something of mine, I could just go in there because they said something not very nice about me and strike down their channel, terminate it forever.
And to put the burden of proof on the person that's being striked, regardless of whether it's like an absurd claim or not, which it absolutely is.
Such a good point. That then, like, putting the blame on the person that is being wronged is so fucked up. You get fucked over and then YouTube are like, well, you've got to sort this out. Huh? What? What do you mean?
Like, you could just call up a lawyer and have them just give you free advice. Like, lawyers are expensive. The fact that they are being like, just retain counsel. Are you kidding? Like, literally saying that content in our video was used, someone that we literally didn't even know what her name was. Like, not use her content. And yet now we are being told that we're responsible for retaining counsel to fight it?
They went on to say, we look into misuse of our copyright tools and web forms to prevent abuse. Do you? Like, what do those types of steps look like? Because this honestly seems like this is a Wild West and someone is allowed to come on this platform, someone who doesn't even use this platform, and abuse your creators who work and fucking dedicate.
YouTube's like, best of luck, babe. Literally.
On your platform.
Our response to that one was, we're like, basically submit a counter notification, which we have. Said, we already have, but the fact that you are willing to issue a strike without even informing us of the actual details of the alleged infringement, actually insane. Suggests that we need to retain counsel to deal with this bullshit is disgusting and only enables this type of abuse further. Because
and then this reply like literally baffled me, but also made it so clear why the system is so easy to abuse. They said, it's up to the copyright owners when they send takedown notices. You can avoid this altogether by licensing the third-party content you use. Here are some best practices.
That even reminds me that they say in the recent copyright strike, the second one we got, it's the contact info of the person claiming it. You can reach out to them. You think we want to reach out to fucking Janet to resolve this? Do you think that's going to be a normal conversation?
Again, yeah, that's what's so crazy here. It's like, why is this person fucking me over, but I have to be the one to be in contact with them? Time to throw rocks. Sure. Please. Rocks, tomatoes, fucking clown emojis, everything. This is fucking psychotic. And such an abuse of the system. Wow, I've been hearing so much about this, and wow, I can't believe I haven't dived into this sooner. Fuck me, I'm so fucking on their side with this one. Shout out to them.
This bitch thinks her TikToks are art. So I'm sorry, we're not going to engage with that. And even one of my other responses to them was not making sure they are complying with the law and not actively abusing your system. Not important?
And again, another good point. So why are you saying that I need to comply with it, but other people don't have to comply with it?
You value random unhinged lawyers who abuse your system and don't even use your platform rather than your creators. Like, how is that your priority?
I just don't understand how YouTube can be like, well, you could just like try licensing, you know, the stuff that you use. Do you understand that one of the largest categories of content that you have on this platform, this entire fucking platform, is commentary? This is one of the most watched long form content on your platform. People who have some of the largest audiences are reacting to things. This is just absurd that you'd be like, well, have you tried licensing it? That would help, right? License her 1 minute TikTok? We don't have to. That's the point.
Like, we're not using a fucking like copyrighted song. We're not tossing the movie clips. Mind-blowing that this is actually a conversation that the robots are trying to have with us.
Well, here's the thing. How can you help if you're watching this right now? We wanted to have like some sort of call to action, and the only thing that we could think of is getting YouTube's actual attention. We're not talking about robots. You know, something that happened when Megan had her issue with being hacked is getting the attention of actually somebody who works there. Get on a call with us, talk to us, email us, anything. Like, we are begging. We are even urging like other creators. We know a lot of creators watch our channel. If you are willing to speak on this, please do, because if you are any sort of commentary channel, you are at risk. Like, this is no sophisticated system. This is you piss off the wrong person, they are coming after after you.
Megan's situation, as I said, like literally the thing that made the difference there was people like Shane Dawson and Gigi Hadid being like, excuse me, guys, you see this? And they were like, oh shit, yeah, we did see it. I guess we can deal with it now. Didn't deal with it until they had to. Like so pressured into responding.
That's a really good point.
People were bringing it up, including creators, that eventually they were like, ooh, hi, sorry. Because that's the thing is, I don't think there's people there like willfully ignoring what's going on and being like, they're wrong. We don't think they're in the right here. It's that.
But the system is so overrun by like AI and robots, not to sound like that person, that it probably isn't on their attention. But that's not an excuse.
It's not even put in front of people that can do anything until so many people raise concern about it.
And again, we know that this content's going to be restored. We're not worried about that. What we are worried about is that our channel's in actual jeopardy because someone is allegedly abusing the system, and they're allowed to do so because there is so many holes in this system. This cannot be fill out this form, take down this channel, and then once we take it down, then we'll look into it and see, you know, we'll see what happened there. No, in my opinion, if your content is copyrighted, right? Actually copyrighted, not just like I made it, like yes, okay, there's technical like IP stuff there, but we're talking like actual copyrighted content that you licensed, you should have a license, right? There needs to be something in place for YouTube to actually monitor this, or like a filter of some sort where you can't just put in a TikTok. That's not what we're asking you. We're asking you, how do you own this? Like literally, do you have a license? To say that this is frustrating, disappointing, it's such an understatement. I feel helpless. Again, we, I guess, overestimated YouTube and their stance on fair use because, again, they know that this is fair use and they deemed it as such, or they said they believed it to be.
That's the craziest thing, that YouTube literally, with this specific case, have deemed it fair use. But it's being abused so much that it's like this flip-flop.
Use, but then just allowed someone to come and
who's the one being fucked over? The Do We Know Them podcast.
She's allowed to issue like multiple attempts.
Insane.
That should alone be flagged as like, this is a little weird. Why is this person going so hard for this video?
I'm not even joking. This has upset me to the point where like I told Lily before this, I'm like, can we say her name? Like that's the point where I'm at in my head. And Lily's like, of course we can. Well, of course we can a week ago, but we had 2 strikes on us. This is the type of woman that will come in, and I don't even know that she won't right now, and strike us again, and we're done. And YouTube will allow that to happen. Will it come back? Yeah. Do I think that even if we did get taken down, that could get reversed? I do. But do I also believe that YouTube's system would allow her to take down our entire channel just because we're talking about her, even though that's freedom of fucking speech? I do. So I don't know what's going to happen after we post this, but that's why I'm saying, if you can tweet YouTube, please do. If you're a creator that's willing to talk about this, please do, because we don't know if our fucking channel's going to be here next week.
It was to the point that I literally told Jesse, it was like, just to be safe, I'm going to go back in private our initial video that we ever made on Lauren the Mortician, because that's the client of hers that really has sent all of this spiraling, because 3 strikes and you're out. So if Janet wanted to, apparently, she could have gone back and claimed that we used Lauren's TikToks in our original video and claimed those. It would have been wrong, and we eventually would have gotten it reinstated because it's fucking fair use, Janet. But we were literally like, oh my God, is that what she's trying to do here? Because again, there's no way in hell, in my opinion, that Janet is actually upset that we used her TikTok. This is a strategic, like, bullying method that she's using. And
it's abuse of power to silence them.
And whether that is to be a word that I will not say right now, or if it's to financially, I don't know what she's trying to do, because it's fucking insane. I wouldn't put it past her though, if she was just trying to literally get our channel taken down and penalize us for talking not positively about her client, which is insane.
This is literally us like begging YouTube to do better, because although in 10 days, or I think she has 7 days for the first one, and that'll get removed, and yeah, we understand there's a system in place. We're begging you to do better, to create a better system.
There's more Janets.
Oh my God, of course there's more Janets. And not only are there more Janets, there's gonna be people that see this. This is a precedence that you're setting, YouTube. You are letting it be known.
Where people know that they can abuse it.
People who do not like what you have to say can get your video taken down. And if they do so 3 times in a row, that channel is gonna be taken down. Yes, will it be reinstated? Sure. But you are letting it be known that your system can be abused.
And that you prioritize random people over the creators that literally are the backbone of your entire company. Not to say we are personally the backbone, but like,
no, creators are.
Yeah. If you're gonna trust random people that are submitting false claims over any of your creators, that's a problem.
I do understand that some people need to protect their copyrighted content that they spent their time making. I support that. I think that if someone re-uploaded our podcast, would it piss me off? Like completely just re-uploaded it and I would probably strike it? Yeah, I would. That is why those systems are in place, for people who steal content, not for commentary channels, not for people who are using their freedom of speech to talk about people who are abusing systems like this. Like that's literally the fact that we were here to talk about her abusing these systems. And we had these creators that...
Again, that is the part of this that's really crazy. This initial thing started about a conversation of abusing said system. And somehow, in an attempt to bring awareness to the system being abused, the system is being abused. And that's okay. And just, like, allowed to happen. Because that's normal. Okay. Chat is on one tonight. My goodness, look at all these spamming of emojis. Can we get some festive ones at least? Fucking, I don't even know what these, is this skunk? Bitch, can we get some festive ones? Whatever happened to the festiveness? It's December, come on. Jesus, the fuck is going on in chat?
That were being targeted by Janet, allegedly, we had them come to us and be like, thank you, because we're being fucking silenced on our platforms. And then she swoops in and silences us.
It's so frustrating because then also that, like you said, these creators that we have talked about even in the last episode that just got striked, Cody, for example, she literally was striking content on Cody's Instagram that was Cody writing text on a screen. That's the level of petty that Janet is willing to stoop to try and silence people. Also, something that we were going to cover more.
And why aren't these people being punished for their abusing said system? Like, it's people will abuse a system and the people that they're like abusing will be punished. But then when things get reinstated, the original person does not get any sort of punishment.
At length, but Jesse was honestly nervous, even though it has zero chance that it has any ownership by Janet.
We're throwing stuff at Janet. Oh, okay.
Trying to flag it. I don't know if you guys have seen, but the 2 calls to the police made by Lauren the Mortician and Janet to request a wellness check, meaning have police go to someone's house. Those are innately dangerous to begin with, especially honestly if you do think the person needs it, like that usually escalates it to be more dangerous. But basically the calls have been released where they're requesting that on a creator named Kitty who spoke badly about Lauren the Mortician. And these 2 women, oh my God, we're gonna link to the calls below. It is absolutely the most egregious abuse of power by Janet, who throws around that she is an officer of the court and feels obligated to be doing this. Oh my God, you are absolutely unhinged and unethical and the worst lawyer that I've ever seen in my life.
Allegedly.
No, confident. That's correct, but that's factual. I've never seen a worse lawyer, I don't think.
Imagine that we do this, right? We're here talking about this again. We're pushing, we're standing up for ourselves. We're saying, no, fuck you. And there is a knock at our doors, both of our fucking doors. And it's Jeanette Braun calling the police saying that we're mentally unwell because we're obviously like upset in this video, whatever. That is the level that she went to get Kitty to shut up, okay? This is why we're talking about this. There are more Janets out there. They need to know that this is not acceptable on this platform, on any fucking platform. She is willing to go to crazy, unethical, illegal, allegedly, lengths to get people to stop talking about her and her clients.
That she also then defends. So Janet, in the comments on her TikTok, has repeatedly defended calling a wellness check on Kitty, which I would like to point out. It almost would be more reassuring to know that Janet's just stupid and like doesn't understand things. Like you said, I think she's being purposely obtuse for all of this. Like, I don't think she's stupid and just thinks that all of this stuff is happening, but I want to throw it out there that if you're not familiar with Kitty, she is a creator that one Google search will pull up multiple articles where it says, this woman's Traumatize the Men series is truly giving creepy guys a taste of their own disgusting medicine. Kitty runs an account that is very obviously rooted in satire, and she does often reference things like drinking blood or eating organs or various like demonic symbolisms. And oh my God, you guys, that is what Lauren the Mortician and fucking Janet, I guess, I don't know if Janet's really directly said this, but Lauren the Mortician has explicitly said this in her TikTok that she posted. They describe that Kitty's behavior is erratic and unhinged and like...
Again, it's very, very, very scary that things like this can be abused. And also the like wellness checks and stuff. I had this shit happen with me with the Colleen situation last year. It was one of the main reasons I moved away from my apartment back then. But it's just so scary that like people can do that and they are listened to. Like, what do you mean you're being listened to in that instance? Like, and it is so important, and huge props to Lily and Jesse for also raising awareness for this sad other person as well. Like, that brings roasting Janet over an open fire. It's crazy to me just that your content can be like tongue-in-cheek or satire or whatever like that. And you can have people abuse the police system to give you a wellness check, even if you're being ironic online or playing a character online, or even if you're not. It's just an invasion of fucking privacy.
It's so clear that she's having a mental crisis. Those are the words that they use in the fucking calls that they make, which Kitty has posted. So again, we're linking those below. A mental crisis is what they cite. And they say that she just seems unwell and...
She's blackmailing people. She's threatening people.
Here's the thing though. Lauren in her TikTok relies very heavily on she's talking about organs and drinking blood. Then you'd think though, when you hear the phone call, that would be what Lauren's talking about. There's no mention of that in the phone call. Do you know what there is mention of? That she's on Reddit.
Yeah, she's on Reddit. She's blackmailing people. She's just
Extortion.
acting unwell. I'm really concerned. but they don't mention anything about organs, nothing about drinking blood. That was something that allegedly Janet and Lauren came up with after to kind of like cement their reasoning for calling this wellness check. Even Gabby Egan echoed this and said, well, if someone was talking about eating organs and stuff, I would call it. Nobody mentioned that on the police call.
And also, do you know what wasn't mentioned in the police calls? Any single specific reference to this alleged blackmail or extortion or this erratic behavior.
It's so scary that this can happen.
Any of the things that they were listing. And honestly, it was just so enjoyable to listen to because the operators were so over their bullshit.
One of the operators actually asked Lauren the mortician if she had heard this person say, Kitty, that she was gonna hurt herself. And Lauren had this long ass pause and was like, no.
Like she was looking for a way to say yes without lying.
But she couldn't
because she knows that there was absolutely zero reason she should be calling this in. Honestly, this wellness check situation I think is one of the grossest things of all this entire scenario, this whole saga. That is such a just misuse of resources and like why are you wasting people's time? Why are they calling a wellness check and then complaining about blackmail and extortion? Like call the fucking police and file a report then if you think that they're blackmailing you. I believe Lauren even says that it's not blackmail towards her, like in the phone call.
Well, because she's trying to pretend it's not her calling. She says she wants to remain anonymous. But my thing is like these phone calls were given to Kitty. She has every right to use them. They're not property of Jeanette or of Lauren the mortician. Yet I literally told Lily, like, I'm not going to put those on screen when we have 2 strikes because even though it is not her property, I literally think because it's her voice, like she thinks her voice is copyrighted or something. I have no fucking idea, but I know.
Again, it's really scary because it's like, what are the limits? What can you show? What can you talk about? What's fair use? What's their property? What's copyrighted? What's not copyrighted? It opens up a very dangerous conversation of, well, again, it's like what I'm saying. Like, does that mean that I can get striked? Look, I have Brat up there. Copyright. You know what I mean? God, huge props to them for exposing this.
Unethical lengths to silence people. And I've seen a lot of people discussing like whether or not, because full disclosure, I have reported Jeanette to the bar in Illinois and Texas. It is something that anybody can do. So I did utilize those resources because I do think that she is using her law degree in an unethical fashion to pressure people into not speaking about them. I do think that that's fucking wrong.
One of the aspects of the call that bothered me so much is that she literally volunteers the information. She's, I'm an officer of the court and I feel obligated to report this.
Yeah, that's what she does. She wields it around as a weapon. And I don't know if anything will be done. You know, I've seen people talk about whether there's a basis on our argument or like whether she can actually be held accountable or disbarred even. And the overwhelming sentiment is like, well, I don't know if like the copyright thing is enough. Like it's just kind of her abusing these systems, if that's enough to like actually get her disbarred. But this wellness check, her doing this and citing that she's
such an obnoxious abuse of your profession.
A lawyer
to use that to your advantage
in this way in order for them to be quiet is insane.
Good night, Chloe.
To her request for the wellness check, that was like a power move to be like, I'm a lawyer, so you should listen to me.
I think this is far beyond unethical. I think there is pieces of this that are flat out illegal. Like I do feel like she has overstepped legal boundaries at the very least.
That includes the stuff that we are aware of. What the fuck is she doing behind the scenes? Because
or that people are too scared to talk about her.
Crossed several ethical lines at best.
Because again, this would have been very easy for them to not talk about because they have one more strike. But they did. So how many people are on that final strike where it's just not worth it? And how exhausting is that people have to deal with this bullshit?
And legal lines at worst.
Allegedly. But yeah, that's basically where we're at right now. We have 2 strikes on our channel. We do not know if this will cause her to strike us again, even though we have shown nothing of her. We're not even showing her face, not even showing a screenshot of her profile, but we don't put it past her to strike us for speaking about her.
And we also don't know if we are going to be going to court over even the first strike, because that's what we're waiting to get is a court order from her, bringing us to court over the use of, I remind you, her 1-minute TikTok where she's not on screen. It is a voiceover over the TikTok terms and conditions, which we are commentating on.
And full disclosure, if she does take us to court,
we're going.
Yeah, I feel like at this point we've decided that we'll go. Will we need to crowdsource money? I don't know. Keep an eye peeled for our GoFundMe. But like at this point, this seems so far beyond even us.
It's so unfortunate that they are in the
obligated beyond us. Like this is not even about that. It's just like this is wrong.
I mean, if you guys have followed us for a while, you might be familiar that we do tend to have a strong sense of justice, you might say.
It tingles. It really does. And we start getting like so worked up and angry and we just text and voice note. Like, this is ridiculous. Like it just feels when you've been wronged to just accept that and sit down and just be like, well, you know what? It's easier because it is easier to just not deal with this and to be like, okay, those strikes will get removed. We don't need to talk about her or her clients to continue on this channel. We could have gone down here and talked about Selena Gomez and that whole bullshit she's doing.
But then the fact that it's happening because we talked about her doing the exact thing that's trying to silence us. No, sorry.
I honestly feel like if we allowed this and let's say she does provide a court order and we're just like, okay.
Because that's what this person Janet wants, which is to get you to stop talking, because if you're going to keep talking about, yeah, I'm going to keep giving strikes, and then what? Your channel's gone. Fucked up.
it down, we'll just leave it down, no problem. If we allow that to happen, we are going to be stepped on time and time again, because that is what our channel is. We are reacting and commentating on things every week. I mean, literally every video we've ever uploaded on our channel has something that someone could pull a Janet on, and that is not okay.
And furthermore, it's enabling people like Janet and Janet herself to keep doing this, and to also then enable her clients to think that this is an appropriate use of power and that they're not doing anything wrong and that this is all totally ethical and it's fine. No, it's not. I'm sorry if you're doing problematic stuff and you don't want people talking about it, then maybe you shouldn't do problematic stuff. People can talk about you, and unless they are literally stealing your content to profit off of it, no, this isn't a real thing.
And again, I mentioned this in one of our videos that's now currently being taken down, so I'll just repeat myself. I have had content made on me that I believed to not be correct. I believed it to be defamatory. I believed it to be wrong. And all you can do, or all I felt I could do, is just like, you know what? I'll say my side of it, and then that'll be that. Like, you either address something and move on, whatever. All these creators that have hired her and are being such cowards, in my opinion, to be like, you can't talk about me in XYZ situation. You can't talk about me and be mean and use my picture, okay? Yes, we can. And yes, anybody can. Welcome to the fucking internet. And you have messed with the wrong community, because we speak our fucking truth here. We talk about things. That's literally what we do. And you're messing with the community and saying you can't speak. Yes, we fucking can.
What's the analogy that Medusa, when you cut off one of her things, then two grow? That's what's gonna happen. You can't just like play whack-a-mole and keep silencing people and think that it's never gonna have any repercussions. Because guess what? Some people are not gonna take kindly to your bullshit, such as us.
Yeah, all in all, we'll stop now because I know it's a lot. It's just...
Okay, let's leave it there and let's talk about it. Again, it is so important, and huge shout out to Jesse and Lily for talking about this, because it's important that when creators go through something like this, that they continue to talk about it, no matter how scary that is. And wow, I'm really invested in this saga now. I know I'm super late on it, but fuck. And again, I'm like, who hires these type of lawyers? Like, how unethical do you have to be to see this and be like, I want her as my lawyer? And also, it's just super scary that people can abuse this, like, hiding behind a lawyer to do the shadiest activity ever. They've gone to court now. There's more. Well, don't worry. I'm going to be catching up on it. Don't worry. I'm going to be catching up on it. Oh, my God. Okay, we'll leave it there. Shout out to Jesse and Lily. Go over and support them. Oh, my goodness. Oof.